All right. Live stream is live. At least Google Hangout is telling me that it is live. In last year's live stream, I was fooled by Google Hangouts, and I was made believe that the live stream wasn't live, and I restarted it 3 times. But I think I won't get fooled today. I just believe that this is live now, and with a little bit of luck, there's already someone watching this, although it says 0 viewers. So, but I'm not going to be fooled by that. Okay. All right. Okay, I will keep an eye on this. Oh, the first viewers have arrived. Hello, good evening. See, I was right. It's working. It just looked like it would not work in the first 30 seconds or so. Oh, 7 viewers. Good evening. Please come in. Here, you're very welcome to my studio in the small and cozy town of Warendorf in northern Germany. It is 9 p.m. over here. The sun has already disappeared. I want to give you a quick look into our garden. Oh, watch the cool Wormworld Saga window stickers over there. So this is what it looks like if you look out of the window in Warendorf. The sandbox is covered up over there. We had some nice sandbox playing today. And here we are in the studio. Yeah, I'm keeping these first few minutes of the live stream a little bit casual because people are just coming in, taking their seats. I hope everyone is fine, everyone is cozy. I'm totally relaxed, as you can see. I actually watched the recording of last year's Kickstarter final live stream, and man, you can see that I was completely freaked out by the whole events. It's actually a little bit embarrassing to watch that, but it's okay. It's only human to be a little bit taken away by the events. Okay, and I see there are the first comments. So you have to know, although I have used Google Hangouts on air several times now, there's still stuff that I haven't figured out yet completely. And one of the things is the Q&A app. I'm seeing your questions on the sidebar here, and there's already some people writing there. Hello, Renee Schönbeck. Hello, David from Michigan. Hi. Isn't it cool that technology provides us the possibility to connect Warendorf to Michigan? That's so cool. Ben Steed is over there. Hi, Ben. Zachary, hi. I'm only greeting people that I can make out in the comments here. So if I don't mention your name, please don't be mad with me. So there's this Q&A app apparently, and I'm a total loser for not having figured out how you activate it. Actually, in the starting in the chapter launch live stream, I encountered that it doesn't seem to be obvious how to participate in the Q&A thing. So let me just have a quick look. Here on the page, and I will in the chapter launch. Give me a second. I will now hear myself. I encountered that it doesn't seem to be obvious. So I hope that that's now what you should see, and I'm actually looking for myself where this Q&A thing is, because I was told that it should be somewhere here, but I actually can't see it either. What happens if I click? Oh man, I'm such a loser for not having researched that. If someone could give me a hint so that I can just tell all the people on the live stream where to access the Q&A. So if someone could just write me where to find the Q&A, because here are several people who have already who are already in the Q&A section where I can read your comments, but I don't know where to find it on the actual screen. So if someone could tell me how they did it. So I don't need this, I guess, and I don't need this. Is there any hand anywhere? So if anyone could tell me. Now you're just seeing my bald head. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we are going to try to figure this out. This is what you should see here, the window, but I can't spot the Q&A functionality right here. So if anyone could give me a hint. Aha, Q&A is accessed via the cube-like icon on the top of the page. This one here. Oh, that's a good tip. So if you want to participate, oh, this is my bald head again. How embarrassing. If you want to participate in the Q&A, just go to this little menu above here. This one here. Hover your mouse over it. And then you can activate the Q&A. And then you get this wonderful sidebar over here where you can post questions. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. Thank you very much for helping everyone. Okay, I can now close the stream on my side, because it's pretty weird to see what I just said 20 seconds ago. And now I think we're getting ready. Oh, Joachim is here. Oh, yes. Good evening, Joachim. Oh, and so many people. Aparna P. Oh, yes, and so many hints from your side to where the Q&A is. That's so great. I think I will now remember it for all the live sessions that come in the future. Ooh, right. And actually, what I wanted to try is to invite people to the broadcast, so that it's not only me you see here, but it would actually be cool to invite more people. And I've never done that successfully, but I've watched a little tutorial today, and I think I have completely forgotten how to do it. And you know what? I don't want to make this a complete ridiculous event now by hot fixing Google Hangout problems. I say we will do this properly some day in the future when I had the time to test this a few times, because I don't really know how to properly add people now to the discussion. And actually, I don't even know if some one of you would actually want to join this and put yourself in front of the camera. So we might just leave it with the Q&A section. I hope that my little tutorial and through the help of all you people will enable a lot of you to post questions and to post comments. And I will just try to identify those comments that are actually questions, and I will try to answer them. So let's just get some of your helpful comments out of the way here. Oh yes, and Askin is there. Hello. Oh boy. And we have guests from Munich. Yeah, actually, tell me where you are from, everyone. Oh, from Rome, I see we have someone here. Giovanni. Oh my. Oh, this is so awesome. I really love I love this part so much because it's so great to see all the people from all around the world. And yes, and fortunately, I have started this live stream a little bit earlier than last time, because last time it was half an hour before the campaign was closing, and I had technical problems, and effectively we launched 20 minutes before the end of the campaign, and that was a little bit stressful. And I think it's much better this way, with a little bit more time before the campaign closes, which is in about 47 minutes. So this is awesome, and I will have a look at the page right at the moment, because you never know. Yeah. So this is absolutely amazing. We are at 45,470 right now. There's fluctuation right at the moment. The amount is going down and up according to the last adjustments backers due to their pledge, but I think that no matter how much adjustments happen now to the pledges, we can already say that this campaign is an unbelievable success. It's really, we're even beyond last year's level of funding, and that really is amazing, because I have to admit, I was really a little bit anxious, or yes, anxious I think is the word, about the Volume 2 campaign, because Volume 2 in any series is not as easy to launch as a Volume 1, because a Volume 1 is a perfect entry point for everyone that just happens to stumble upon the project on Kickstarter or on the internet, and it's easy to jump on the bandwagon in a Volume 1 campaign. And Volume 2 always is hard. Well, because people might stumble upon it, might see it and see, oh, I missed Volume 1, so Volume 2 isn't interesting for me. In the best case, they encounter Volume 2 and see, oh, there's a catch-up possibility, but then it's always well, the problem is, if you catch up, you have to pay double the amount of the normal reward. So the catch-up packages are always a challenge for backers. And so I really had no idea how this campaign would turn out, and to see that we're going even beyond last year's funding is really interesting. Did I say interesting? No, it's not interesting. It's wonderful, actually. And yeah, again, this campaign has been so exciting until now, and so much happened, and I have prepared for you a little bit of information about the stuff that was happening behind the scenes. We had this point where I wrote in my updates that I was looking for a manufacturer for a certain item. We all know now that it was the resin figure that I was talking about. And it was really not easy to find a manufacturer. And I had a lot of luck, I think. And I will show you the samples that I received from the manufacturer, and that ultimately convinced me that I should give it a try. Because I have never, to this point, I have never produced a collectible figure. It is something that I absolutely love. You just have to look around my studio here. I will give you a short pan. So I have all this stuff standing here, all the collectible figures from all these big movie franchises and comic book franchises. And having a collectible figure for the Wormworld Saga is actually a dream come true. And I'm so excited to find out how it will turn out. So we will have a look at the samples that were sent from the manufacturer. I will also show you the 3D model that I created as a starting point for the figure production. I will try to make a screen share with you so that you can see the 3D file in Blender. Yes, and yeah, and you know what? Talking about the figure, I think this is some kind of running gag, but I think it's time for a final reminder to all backers out there that they can upgrade to the resin figure. And I will just do this. Give me a minute. I will put the camera in a way so that you can watch what I'm doing. So we are live right at the moment, and let's make a new update. And it can be, it's possible that my internet connection actually is a little bit slow now because of the live stream that I'm uploading right at the moment, but it seems to work. So we call this the final figure update reminder. And yeah, well, I know that I'm sounding like a scratched record here because I reminded everyone about the figure upgrade so many times, but I still get messages from people who want to know how to upgrade to the figure, so that I think that it's just useful to spread this information as often as possible, so that really everyone, even those who have joined the campaign now in the last minutes, so to say, will know about the figure upgrade. So I will start with the picture, and I will actually I will paste the. Let me open up a new Kickstarter window so that I can paste the text from one of the last updates. I don't have to type this all in right now. All right. Okay, this just needs a couple of times. So I think I had a figure upgrade reminder in the 44K update. Yes. Oh, and I wrote in this update that for the very last time I would give a reminder, but that was a lie. The final figure upgrade reminder will be now. Okay. Bam. Okay, so this is really the last figure upgrade reminder. For everyone. And in order to yada, yada, yada. All right. Okay. We see the figure, we see the text. So this is really the last figure upgrade reminder for Iron Object. The backer server was sent out also. I think I will add in another sentence. Oh no, I don't need. No. I keep it like that. All right. The preview looks good. And now it's published. All right. Now we have done that. We have reminded all the backers about the figure upgrade. And you know what? I will also share the link for the live stream for last time in the comment section, and then I will assume that just everyone who's able to watch this will know about it, and then we will leave it with that. And I have actually never had 40 viewers on a live stream, I guess. This is really a lot of people. And I will go through your comments and Q&A stuff in a minute. And I think I will also give a little tip about the Q&A section again, now that I know how it's done. But first things first. Oh, I need the link. Where do I find the link? Oh, yeah. So let me get the link. There's the link. Here's the comment section. The live stream is currently broadcasted here. All right. Whew. Oh, and just because I picked it up in the comments here, I'm really happy that so many people reacted positively, enthusiastically even, to the keychain pendant freebie. As I wrote in the update, or well, in a comment in the update, it was really not easy to figure out what kind of reward or freebie would be suitable for reaching the 44K goal, because the 44K goal is a little bit arbitrary. It's the amount of last year's campaign, and why comparing this campaign to last year's campaign, and why making this a goal to reach the same amount. So this was a little bit kind of an arbitrary goal, but it was a special point to reach, and I wanted it to feel like a real achievement. And that's why I wanted to have a freebie that was not like printed on paper or something like that. I wanted to have something that, well, is durable, that is useful actually, and I figured that one item that I would use on a daily basis would actually be a keychain pendant. And I went with that, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy that so many people reacted so nicely to this freebie, and I'm really looking forward to it. And okay, I was just informed that I received a private message, and private messages could be a backer who wants to have who wants to pledge for a custom reward in the last minute. So I will just have a quick look if I can help someone here, but it seems to be it's just a thank you message. Wonderful. Great. All right, we have ascended to 45,669. This is awesome. And I think in a few minutes I might send out a last tweet, maybe, or you know what? No, let's just leave it with this. I don't want to stress out now by going into the social media and stuff like that. Let's concentrate on the moment here. I see that 48 people are watching this. This is cool, and I will now glance over your Q&A, and actually let me give you a little hint here about the Q&A feature. I was taught by you backers just a few minutes ago how to activate the Q&A feature, and let me just one more time go onto the streaming page. That should look something like this. I hit the play button, then that's the way you enter the stream, and since you're watching this, you have already done that. And here in the top right corner of the stream, autofocus, focus. Here's a little field, this one here, a little cube. Click on it, and then you can choose the Q&A feature. And through this, you can send me a question, you can write me a question or just a comment, and it will appear here in my sidebar, and I can answer your questions or just read your comments for that matter. And you can also vote the questions, I think, because I have little plus numbers on the questions, and if you vote them, they will rise to the top, and I will try to answer your questions or your comments according to this vote. Okay. The glove question. That's cool. Well, this really is a running gag, because in each and every live stream I get asked about the glove. It's the glove question, and it's voted on top of our Q&A here. Yeah. Okay, let me just read the question, and I can actually select it. Maybe somebody already asked this. The glove you use is for painting purposes only, or health issues? Or better technique, how do you call that thing actually? It is my magic drawing glove. And I have to show you something. Give me a second. The magic drawing glove comes from the magic drawing glove box. And in the magic drawing glove box are dozens of black gloves. And it's properly signed on the front. So what about these gloves? The answer is pretty simple. Well, give me a second. I will have to put it back. I just realized that you can see me in the mirror back there. Well, the thing with the glove started when I moved to my first flat. It was a small flat directly beneath the roof, and it was very hot in the summers, and my hands would start to sweat, and I wasn't able to draw on the graphic tablet with sweaty hands. So I started to buy these simple cotton gloves that you can find in any supply store for, I don't know, just general grocery. It's an item that is used for cosmetics, for all sort of stuff. It's just simple white gloves, and I would just cut the 3 fingers from the glove. It looks really ugly, but this is because I want to keep the feeling in the fingers that hold the pen. So I had these white gloves, and I was not only wearing them at home, but also at work later. And at work, I was constantly asked if I had broken my hand or if something was wrong with my hand. And of course, it was because the white glove looked like a bandage or something like this. So I figured I just need to change the color of the gloves. And well, you can just dye them with black color for cloth dyeing, I think it's called, don't know. And I always buy a huge quantity of these gloves and dye them black in a huge bucket, because they actually they get used up pretty. They get worn out pretty easily. You know, you see here we have a little hole here in the finger. That is because of the movement and the friction on the drawing surface. So whenever I've got too many holes in here, or just if the glove becomes too dirty, I don't wash them normally. I throw them away, because it normally takes a few months until a glove is worn out, and then it's too much of a hassle to wash them, and they often get worse when you wash them, because it's pretty low quality textile. So I normally throw them away and take a new one. And there's yeah, no, I can't show you right now. I have a little depot. I can show you. I'm using the Cintiq, the small Cintiq, as a little broadcasting monitor here, and beneath it you find my little cut fingers depot. Yeah, another dirty secret of myself. I collect the cut fingers of the gloves in the cut fingers depot. And this is, I can't explain it. It's embarrassing, but okay. So this is the story about the gloves. These are simple cotton gloves. I use them to draw properly, even with sweaty hands. And even if my hands are not sweaty, I'm so accustomed to the feeling of the glove on the tablet surface that I just can't do without. I always need them when I'm holding a pen in my hand. Okay. I think I answered that question. Oh, and there is a highly voted question. Can we see the prototype of the figure? Yes. Well, yes and no, because the actual prototype of the figure would be an actual sculpture. So far, the sculpture is only a digital model, and I will provide this this model to the manufacturer. The manufacturer will create the prototype, will send it over to me, and I will have to check it for quality and for things that have to be fixed. And then if everything is communicated, the prototype will be used to produce the actual figure. So what I can show you is the 3D model that will be the base for the figure. And I can show you the samples that I received from the manufacturer to see if their quality meets my, well, expectations. So let's start with the figure, the 3D model. I will now try to make a screen share. Give me a second. And I think it's this button here and this. All right. Oh, it seems to work. All right. So this is Blender. I'm using Blender since 2 years or so. I'm really loving it. It's for everyone who shouldn't know, Blender is an open source 3D software. It has a lot of features, and you know, when I started to go freelance, the big question was, what 3D package would I use? Because from work, I was used to using 3D in the games industry. I use 3D software pretty often, and of course, my employer provided me the software, and it's always very expensive software. And when I changed to freelance, the question was if I should invest money in my own 3D software copy. And I decided that I wasn't using 3D to an extent that would justify the investment into my own 3D software copy. And I started to work with Blender, which is free and which is extremely useful, has a lot of features, and it has all the features I need for my work, which mainly is prototyping work for the Wormworld Saga. And this thing here is a little bit special because this is a prototype sculpting for the Jonas figure, and you see that it's pretty rough actually. So this is not a final design. There are many details that have to be fixed. For example, the hands, they are very melted together here. And the goal with this sculpture was not actually to have a final prototype, but to have something to show a manufacturer. And okay, this is I've just picked the question that I'm currently answering. And so this is a starting point for the figure. The pose is roughly what I'm looking for, although I think that the pose actually could also be optimized a little bit. I want Jonas to look really relaxed and a little bit thinking, watching into the distance here, thinking about the adventure, thinking about his options, what should he do. And you can't see the colors here in the viewport of the software, but if we hit a button here, now let's see what it does. Yeah, I'll see that I have already colored. Figure out how it might look in the end. Still not final. You see that the coloring here on the stones, on the rocks, is pretty rough right at the moment. And I'm not really sure yet if how much of this structure should be modeled and how much painted. I think it's easier for the production if the stuff is modeled, so it's more easy to paint them. But these are things that I will discuss with the manufacturer, and you can be rest assured that I will do anything I can do to make sure that this figure becomes a very cool item. I will put a lot of work into this, and well, and the manufacturer obviously knows his trade. I will now end the screen capture here, the screen share, so that I can show you the samples that I received from the manufacturer. They are over here. Let's just take the camera with me, and I will try something now. I have a little secondary microphone over here. I will just turn it on now, and let's see if it's working. All right, the sound should have changed now. I'm now on this little microphone, which enables me to walk a little bit through my room here. And I apologize for the bad lighting here. Oh, wait a minute. I can just... Oh, I hope you don't get seasick. All right, the cables. I'm entangled in cables. That's how it's going. And we have to watch the time, haven't we? Yes. Well, it's 18 minutes. That's okay. We can have a look at the figures. I just have to entangle to get across with these cables. And, you know, that's what wireless was invented for. Okay, get away. Ciao. Release the cable. Let go. All right. Okay. All right. So here they are. I received these 3 samples from the manufacturer. This here is a resin figure, and I have to see if the autofocus is working here. Give me a second. Looks pretty okay. So this is a resin figure of approximately the size and weight that the Jonas figure will have. The Jonas figure will be a little bit bigger, and actually I'm still trying to figure out how big the base of the figure should be. I would rather like Jonas to be a little bit bigger and the base a little bit smaller, but this will be I will test that, and I will discuss it with the manufacturer. But this is a resin figure without painting that the manufacturer I'm working with has provided me as a sample. It's really nice. It has nice details. It has no ugly seams or stuff like that. And this, the quality of the sculpting is really nice, and I really like it. And the only thing I couldn't, I wasn't able to judge through this sample was the painting, and I was provided these little Power Ranger figures, which are hand painted by the manufacturer, which give me an idea of, well, the way they are able to put color on the figure. And of course it will depend on my design and on my color choices how the final Jonas figure will look like. But what these samples testify for me is that the manufacturer, although he's making a great deal on the figure, is capable of a decent production. And, well, still it is a little bit of an experiment. I have to admit that. I have never worked with that manufacturer, and you cannot always make, or should I leave the light on? Yes, I leave the light on. Although it was a little bit more cozy without the light. Well, oh, lens flares. My bald head is shining. No. I should wear my cap. No, I'll just turn off this light. And I will raise this one here a little bit more. All right. It's a little bit more cozy like this. And the image quality isn't too bad though. So all right, I hope I showed you enough of the figure. Where's my pen? Oh yes. And okay, let's see what we have here. What we have here. This is answered. So although chapter, I will just let me select it. Although chapter 7 is just completed, when do you think we can expect chapter 8? This actually is a very good question. Because I have not made definite plans about the chapter 8 production, mainly because I had to see how our Kickstarter campaign would turn out, because a certain amount of the funds from the Kickstarter campaign, well, at least what's left after the production of the books and the freebies and the shipping and everything, there is a certain profit from the campaign, and this will give me, well, with that I can buy time to produce the next chapter. And well, as we know, the result up to this point is pretty great. So let's just have a look what 45,827 and 15 minutes to go. A portion of these funds will help me to plan the next chapter production, but there's actually some other stuff currently developing that will also play a role in my schedule for the rest of the year. So that I'm right at the moment, I can't tell you when the chapter 8 will be produced. What I can tell you is that I have already a very clear vision of chapter 8 in my mind, and actually I think that I might plan chapter 8 and 9 together in a bundle, because chapter 8 and 9 will be closely connected, and they will be a major turning point in the story. It's really going to blow your minds, I promise. The story is going to take a radical turn in chapters 8 and 9, and I'm building the story up to that point, or I have built the story. I have built up the story to this point in the last 7 chapters. Things will get to a point in chapter 8 and 9, and then we will have a real, I just can call it a major turning point in the story. And that's all I can tell you right at the moment. And since we have started so many story threads in the existing 7 chapters, I think you shouldn't be able to guess what's happening in the next 2 chapters. All right, so that's all I can say right at the moment. When the chapter 8 production starts, I can't just tell you now. I'm still in the process of figuring out how to organize the rest of the year. And also what will be a thing this year, most probably, is the Kickstarter campaign for the 3rd volume. Because if everything develops the way I expect it right at the moment, the German version of book 3 will be published in late summer, and right after that we would be able to start a Kickstarter campaign for the English book edition volume 3. So this is also something that I have to keep in mind at some point. And yeah, things are completely floating right at the moment, and it's interesting how stuff comes to these points, how well, everything in life seems to come to these waypoints, to these crossroads. And one thing that's always indicating for me that I am at a crossroad is that I have to start a new production diary. Have a look. This is the production diary I kept until well, yesterday, I would say. So the last entry here is from a few days ago, and I've already received my new production diary. It's empty right at the moment, and my first entry will be the result and my personal experiences from this Kickstarter campaign. And just let me turn off my my small microphone right now, because I am sitting right next to the bigger microphone, which has a better sound. Give me a second. All right, I hope you hear me. Okay. All right. So much to about chapter 8, and now we actually have to look at. Oh no, it's still 8 minutes to go. Whoa. All right, I think I have finished that question. Okay, the next question, voted to the top. Are you considering a second resin figure after this success? I'd love to see Raya with her Olling's cape opened from chapter 3. Yeah, you know, I'm totally excited about this figure thing. And as I said, it's the first figure I ever produced. And I'm really curious to see how it works out. I'm curious to see the work of the manufacturer. I'm curious about the whole process, the approving process, and stuff like that. But if the Jonas figure should turn out the way I imagine it, and should it just be a cool figure, a good quality product, I am totally into developing a whole series of figures. And I think it would make sense to make a figure upgrade a part of any future Kickstarter campaigns, because it's just it's a cool goal to go for. It's a nice event in the middle of the campaign where normally things are slow and dragging, and to have a mid-term goal or a mid-campaign goal like a figure is really something that stirs up things a little bit and helps to keep people excited about a campaign. So yes, I can definitely say, oh, and just let me highlight the question. I can definitely say that if this figure turns out the way I expected, then we will definitely start a series here, and a Raya figure, and exactly in the pose you described with the opened cape, would be an awesome figure. And it would definitely come with some challenges for the painting, because the inside of Raya's cape has this rather complicated design. But well, these are things that I can discuss with the manufacturer. And yeah, I would love to have a whole series of figures. All right, I think I answered that. So we have now 5 minutes to go. I don't see a reason why we should stop the Q&A session here, because I'm not going to promote this any further. I will just stop with the Q&A for a moment when we reach the magical time, the 10 p.m., and then we will just have a look what is the result of this Kickstarter campaign. Okay, next question. Are there future plans for an animated film? No, there are no plans. Which would mean, a plan would mean that I'm actively searching for a studio to try to sell them a license of the brand or stuff like that. I'm not doing anything like that. And but this does not mean that there could be a studio be interested in the material, actually, in the past years, there have been several contacts from animation studios who asked about the Wormworld Saga and if the rights were available and stuff like that. These never went as far as actually producing anything. And I would be very careful, actually, about a project like this. I would only like to put time into a project like this if I would be really sure about the studio and the quality and the approach and stuff like that. So no, there's no plan, but all the big collaborations around the Wormworld Saga, and this includes the publishing deals, they all came to me, and I never actually went out and tried to convince people to work with me. So far, I was lucky that people just approached me with their ideas, and if an animation studio should approach me, and if their ideas for an animated Wormworld project makes sense to me, I would consider it, but there's no plans. Okay. Okay, next question. Will you create more stories in this world once Jonas' story is done? Well, the first thing is we are very far away from the point where Jonas' story is done, because I have mentioned it in several different places already. The Wormworld Saga is planned as a trilogy of 3 journeys, three journeys into the Wormworld, and in all these 3 journeys, Jonas is the protagonist. So we are currently experiencing or reading the first journey, and it's still a long way to go to finish this first journey, and it will be a closed story in itself. So the first journey, of which we now have 7 chapters, will be a closed story arc with all the characters having developed in the end to a satisfying point. But at the same time, when the first journey comes to an end, there will be this will be the starting point for 2 more journeys, which actually will feature Jonas as a teenager and later as an adult to enter the Wormworld. And these will be three very distinct stories. They will all be connected to each other. And this is the big picture of the Wormworld, what I call the Wormworld Saga. So the Wormworld Saga is a trilogy of 3 journeys into the Wormworld. However, right at the moment, what I'm trying to concentrate on is the first journey. Because, like I said, it will be... Oh, give me a second. Oh, we have only 20 seconds left on Kickstarter. Oh, whoa! We have gone beyond $46,000. That's amazing. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. 46,000. That's amazing. And it's over. It's over. And I'm showing you the wrong portion of the screen. That's amazing. 46,000. The church bells are ringing. I don't think that you can hear it. But that's the end of the campaign. And that's the final result. 940 backers have pledged $46,049. That's you know, this is I'm right at the moment, I'm completely in your Q&A, in this Q&A thing with my mind, but something just clicked in my head, and now that the campaign is over, and this is really amazing. 46,000. Well, if I remember this morning when I woke up, and for the last 30 days, my morning routine would be to wake up. Normally when our youngest son, Nicholas, would wake up at around 6 a.m. screaming for a bottle of milk, I would stand up every other day, because I'm interchanging with my wife there. So one day she has to make the bottle at 6 o'clock, and the other day I have to make the bottle at 6 o'clock. And my morning routine would look like this. I would get up, get to the bottle and to the hot water on the desk, on the cupboard, and there's the iPad, and I normally activate the iPad for some light, to have some light to mix the bottle of milk for my son. And during the Kickstarter campaign, I not only started the iPad to have the light, but also to see the statistics, to see what had happened overnight. Because this campaign, or generally the Kickstarter campaigns, are supported from a lot of people from the United States, and they are in a completely different time zone. So normally a lot would happen overnight, and the days would be rather calm and without a lot of movement. So it was my morning routine for 30 days now to wake up at 6 o'clock, sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later, and look at the statistics. And this morning I noticed that we had, I think we made about $600 compared to the funding level of the preceding update. So in about 8 hours, we made about $600 overnight. And I was really thinking, man, will we meet that 44K goal to unlock the keychain? Because I knew that it was the keychain, and I was really looking forward to share this with you. But waking up this morning and seeing that only, you always have to keep this in proportions, okay? So the day before we had over $1,000 overnight. So I woke up and saw that we had $600, and I thought, oh man, we could actually go slower than the day before, and maybe we wouldn't even reach the 44K goal. And now seeing that we even went $2,000 beyond the 44K goal is just, it's hard to comprehend. And actually, there's an interesting detail. You have to know, today, this afternoon, I was visited by a blogger from a nearby city who wanted to interview me. And I realized too late that the interview was going to happen on the last day of the Kickstarter campaign. But I didn't want to bail out of the interview, so he came over at about 4 p.m. and we started our interview. And I had to apologize to him because we were just nearing the 44K goal at that moment. And I had to look over to the Kickstarter page every other minute during the interview. And this was maybe a little bit disturbing for the interview, but well, okay, the guy, he could understand my situation. And then we were I think, about $100 away from the 44K goal. And the next time I looked on the screen, we were about $400 beyond the 44K goal. And I couldn't understand what happened. And what happened is that someone pledged for the $500 reward, the gouache painting reward. But the funny thing is that I had no idea that there was still a gouache painting reward available. And maybe someone can explain it to me, but I thought that all the 4 slots were taken all the time in the last 2 weeks or so. And I have my little Excel sheet in which I put all the daily results in, and I'm pretty sure that all 4 slots were taken all the time. And out of nowhere, this slot was filled this afternoon, and I have no idea for how long it had stayed open. I don't know. It's really weird. I will have to, maybe this is documented somewhere in Kickstarter. But that was really, it was completely irritating me. But well, it was a nice way of being irritated. So we jumped so fast beyond the 44K goal that I didn't even had the time to react with my update. I was a little bit slow with the update. All right, but okay. So this is amazing, and yeah, just to close this question and choose this one. Hey, we smashed 46K. Yes, we did. No, you did. And this is amazing. This is really amazing. And just like the last year, and I told you that I watched the recording of last year this afternoon just to get a little bit into the mood. And it's just the same like last year. The moment when a Kickstarter campaign closes is so weird, because for 30 days you are addicted to this number and to the movement of this number and the development of the funding. You are literally addicted to it. As I said, the first thing I wake up in the morning, I would fire up the iPad and watch and see the statistics. And this is not healthy, I think. And it's good that it's over at some point. But it feels really weird when it's over. It's a mixture of happiness and disbelief, and then the amount is also, I don't think that I'm able to communicate this. But what I'm able to communicate is that I'm absolutely thankful for your support again. This is, as I said, I was really anxious about this campaign because it's the volume 2, and it's not as easy for a volume 2 as it is for a volume 1, and you proved that I actually had no reason to worry. I should have known that. I should know you, my backers, now, that you won't leave me out in the rain. That's amazing. So let's go through some more questions here. And some more cheering. 46K, congrats. Jakovites, thank you very much. This is awesome. And what do we have here? Okay. Is there any possibility of the creation or development of a Wormworld Saga board game? well, we had this little chat in the comments section where I hinted at some things, not telling really what it is about, and I will just leave it there. I will not comment the possibility of a Wormworld Saga board game. But, you know, things might happen out of nowhere. I don't know. Next question. All right. There's more congratulations here. Congratulations on another successful campaign, Daniel. So happy to again be a part of it. Looking forward to the next one. And I'm happy to have you again on board, Ben. This is actually a very nice thing. And I think I was, yeah, I think it was, yes. It was the interviewer today who asked me a question. He said, if someone would put $1 million on your desk, would you stop all this stuff? Would you stop the crowdfunding, and would you only concentrate on creating your comics? Would you stop all your social media things, and would you just concentrate on making your comic? And I thought for a moment, yeah, if I had a lot of money, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't need to make crowdfunding to keep the project on running. But actually, I enjoy this community that's just building over these Kickstarter campaigns. I enjoy it so much, and maybe I would stop making crowdfunding and stuff, because it really is a lot of work, and I could do other stuff during that time. I could create the Wormworld Saga during that time, but I actually would have to make sure to find a replacement for the community and the communication between all the people in the Kickstarter campaign. I would have to create some sort of community platform or something like that, where people just could have this experience, and where I would be able to meet people. So I would really miss it if we wouldn't do it. So I do not even the Kickstarter campaigns are not only important for me as a way to support my project. It's actually my favorite sort of my favorite way to connect with people, and well, to have events like this one, for example, where we're all sitting in front of a screen and are happy about the outcome of a campaign, and it's especially, and that's the reason why I'm coming up with this in the first place. It's especially nice to see people that just come back and that are here again. And there's a funny anecdote, because I see Deirdre's name there. Deirdre, you know, my wife was really a little upset in the first days of the campaign, because you weren't the backer yet. And she was asking me, where's Deirdre? I miss her. She was always so much fun in the comments. And she's right, you are. And we were very happy when you finally joined the campaign. So you are very welcome, Deirdre. And I will just highlight your little cheering here. Yeah, we are funded. We are funded. This is so great. Okay, and now here are some more questions about the scope of the story. How many chapters are you planning to tell the whole saga? Well, as I said, the saga itself is a huge thing, a big picture of a trilogy of 3 journeys into the Wormworld. And I'm concentrating on the first journey right in the moment. And so my rough plan for the first journey is to tell it in about 16 18, maybe 20 chapters. I think it's more about 16 to 18. This is, by the way, this is 16 and 18. So not 6080. No, it's 1618. So with chapter 8 and chapter 9, we will actually reach the midpoint of the first journey. And as I already teased you, it's going to be a big turning point. And that's what you normally should have in a story right at the middle. You need a big turning point that shakes up everyone in the story, and that will set the path to the grand final there. So for the first journey, I'm roughly planning 16 to 18 chapters. I originally planned, well, a few years ago, my answer would have been about 20 chapters for the first journey. But actually, with every chapter that I'm completing, I get a better picture of the chapters that lie ahead. And I think that 16 to 18 chapters is a better approximation right at the moment for the completion of the first journey. And the second and third journey are a topic on their own. They are structured very differently from the first journey, and they will be very different stories. I can't yet say how long they will be. But anyway, I'm concentrating on completing the first journey, which is a big challenge in itself. So I hope this answers your question. And I will just go on with the next one. Let me select it. Did you already decide which kind of little sketches you will offer the backers with a personal touch tier from which they can pick from, or do you decide to make all? Did you decide to make all the sword sketch for all? Yeah, I actually I was asked during the campaign if there is a possibility to have a custom sketch. It would actually be very complicating the process if I asked everyone what kind of sketch he wants. This is something that I can do on a convention or on a signing session, and I don't think that it's feasible to do in a Kickstarter campaign. But what I can actually do is I can create a small list of different designs from which you would be able to choose. Because I have developed over the time, I have developed a small list of sketches that are just that are not too complicated, but that are fitting to the story. And I think this is something that we could actually do. So what I will do is I will create a small gallery of sketches that I can do, and in the backer survey, everyone with a personal touch book in which I will do the sketch will be able to choose from these. That I think I can do, and it would actually be fun. And let's see with what I can come up come up there. All right. So here is a thing. Would you please consider coming to the USA to a convention so that your fans have a chance to meet you? Maybe you can ask for contributions to help you with travel costs. You know, the thing is, and I guess I don't actually see the list of people watching this. Maybe Joachim, the CEO of Tokyo Pop Germany, is still watching here, and you and those who watched the last year's Kickstarter final live stream might remember, or was it on one live stream last year, we announced that Tokyo Pop would send me over to the US to attend San Diego Comic-Con. In the last few weeks, we started to try to figure out how to actually do it. And I have to say, we have been a little bit, or it's mainly my fault. I have been a little bit too optimistic about the possibility to get into San Diego Comic-Con on short notice. What I learned is that this convention is practically booked out until 2016. So having a booth or a table there is actually not possible. And I contacted my literary agent in Los Angeles, and he was contacting all his artists and clients to find a place for us on San Diego Comic-Con, a booth that would provide us a table for an hour or two on which I could do a little bit of signing, and we just weren't successful with that. So it looks, and now I think San Diego Comic-Con is in October, and I think it's really getting, it's really going to be hard to organize a trip to San Diego Comic-Con. But San Diego Comic-Con is not the only comic convention in America. It was the first one that came to my mind, and I think I remember that Joachim from Tokyo Pop said that if we're going to the United States, we might as well go to California because the weather is so nice there. And I'm in Germany, so I can use some good weather from time to time. But it looks like San Diego Comic-Con might just not be a good choice for a thing like this. And I think what I will do next is try to find out, and maybe we can have a poll about that actually among the backers. We need to find out which would be the best comic convention for me to attend to reach as many backers from the Kickstarter campaigns as possible. And maybe it would be New York or Seattle, or I don't know. I think we'll have a survey about this. And because I made really, I think the poll that we had about the fourth collector card was a really good thing. So while mentioning that, we might have a little look at the result of the poll. Let's have a quick look. So these are the results of the collector card poll, and the Allings leads the field with 47% of the votes. So this looks pretty much like that we will have the Allings creature on the fourth collector card, which is a very good choice, I think, because the Allings needs to have more screen time. We have to see more of the Allings, and I don't know if I actually mentioned that, but for the collector cards, I will create all new artwork. I will not reuse artwork from the existing ones. For the collector cards, all artwork will be brand new, and this means that we will have a brand new artwork of the Allings in a nice pose, and I'm really happy about that. Although I'm feeling a little bit sorry about Wiggins, I have to say. Yeah. Wiggins would really have enjoyed to be on the collector card, but it's surely not the last collector card that we're going to create. I think it makes a lot of sense to see this as the start of a series of collector cards. And well, I sidetracked here a little bit. We were talking about the convention, so I think the poll for the collector card worked really nicely, and I will just use the same procedure to find out what would be a good location for me to visit the United States, and where we would where we would be able to meet as many backers from the Kickstarter campaign as possible. I have no demographic data about you backers. Well, I have your addresses, obviously, but I think using a poll here and finding out what conventions you might be attending anyway and stuff like that is the right way to figure out how to do this. And if it's not this year, maybe we can make it for next year. But I definitely would love to come over to the United States and shake the hands in reality with as many backers from the Kickstarter campaign as possible. And I realize that there are a lot of backers that are not from the United States. We have a lot of backers from Brazil and Australia and Canada. And if it would be about me, I would make a world tour to say hello to each and every one of you. But actually, it would be pretty cool if we would manage to have a trip to the United States. And that's my goal right for the moment, and we will just try to find out what would be a good convention. All right. Okay. Okay, so I will just try to... Deirdre loved the keychain. That's cool. And I don't think that you have to be worried about damaging it, because it will be done with metal, so it will be able to take a few punches, I guess. And it's crafted in Germany, you know. It's not going to break. Okay, so here's a question about a convention in Essen. Talking about conventions, do you know whether you'll be back in Essen in October 2015? Yes, I think so. I'm pretty sure that I will be in Essen, because it's very likely that the German Volume 3 will be published until then. And last year in Essen was a great event, and I don't think that we will miss that this year. And there might also be other reasons for me to attend the Spiel convention in Essen. Only saying. Okay, another question from Deirdre. The final chapter is set in stone, or is it open to the imagination? I have things in mind for the development of the story. I have things in mind for Jonas, things he has to go through. I think I have a pretty clear picture in my mind of the big final of the first journey. But you know, an experience I made over the last few years is that things can change. And actually, if you happen to be a backer, a member of the Attic, the subscription area on wormworldsaga.com, you can read a making of article about chapter 7, in which I describe how there has been a character written out of chapter 7 pretty much last minute. So chapter 7 originally also featured the son of Master Otomo. His name was going to be Hiro Otomo. And but pretty much in the last minute, I realized that I didn't need this character, that I could put the character traits of him into Master Otomo and make Master Otomo a little bit more complex, because in my original plan, Otomo was pretty much the warrior type, the loyal warrior that you can put your trust into, that won't question anything, just a loyal warrior to Raya. And well, as you have seen in chapter 7, Otomo is much more of a skeptical character. He even challenges Raya's beliefs at some point. And these are character traits that are originally from his son. This is the first time that I experienced that actually a complete character would disappear from the story. And I experienced a lot of minor changes to the story during developing the development of the chapters. So no, nothing is really set in stone, but I have some pretty clear ideas that I want to work towards. And if something changes on the way that makes change a possibility or maybe even inevitable, I will just change it. The story is an organic thing. And just as I am growing, creating the story itself might grow and evolve into a direction that I can't see from today's standpoint. All right. Here are more congrats. Thank you very much, Askin. Askin, you were a very active backer in this campaign. I noticed you so many times in the comments. We also interchanged private messages on Kickstarter. You are a number nerd just like me. Everyone here has to know that Askin actually changed his pledge several times in order to round up the pledge amount so that we don't end up with some broken numbers in the end. And just wait a minute. What, we have 46,049? Askin, where have you been? We could have 46,050. Just kidding. Everything is okay. Yes, thank you very much for being such a big contributor to the campaign and to post so much comments. As I said, I really enjoy the community aspect of the Kickstarter campaigns and just reading your comments and your discussions and sometimes your teasing. This is really the fun part for me. So thank you very much. Okay, I will skip over this one. Where my inspiration on creating the Wormworld Saga. This is too much for this Q&A session. I could tell. I could talk about this for hours. Maybe this would be a nice question for a dedicated live stream just about my inspiration. But for the moment, I will skip over this question because it will go out of bounds. All right. Oh, okay. This is also a question about inspiration, but it's about the inspiration for the main character. Do you have a place for fan work, like fans of your art working on their own story? No. And I'm feeling a little bit guilty about this because I actually promised that all the fan artwork from last year's campaign that didn't make it into the book would be featured on the website. And actually making the fan art gallery on wormworldsaga.com is on my to-do list for quite some time now, but I've just not been able to tackle that beast because it's a rather big change to the website, and I have to go through all the artwork again and stuff like that, and make sure that the copyright information is accurate on every entry. But yeah, a fan art section is definitely something that I wish for in future incarnations of the Wormworld Saga website. My inspiration for my main character, I think Jonas is the character that has the most parts of myself in him. Although I must say that his panic against fire is something that I don't share, not at all. Actually, I had a phase in my life in my teenage years where I wanted to become a pyrotechnician, and I experimented a lot with explosives and pyrotechnic effects. And I love fire. I'm a big fan of fire, so to say, and maybe that's the huge part where Jonas is different from me, and I wanted to have something for him that is his own, but I think when I ask myself, when I have to write dialogue for Jonas, and when I have to ask myself, what is Jonas going to do? I basically ask myself, what would I be doing in his place? Because he's pretty much my younger self. Well, except for the pyrophobia. Okay. All right, Deirdre has some more thinking for us. I'm thinking here, maybe the cards could have some infos or bio, and maybe they can be used to play. You mean some ability points there, like Jonas ability attack 1 star, Master Otomo attack 5 stars? That would actually be cool. Well, we will definitely have infos about the characters, because the collector cards will be two-sided, and we have a nice illustration on the front side, and we will have character or creature information on the back side, so you will definitely have some info there. If I can manage to have a little gameplay element on the cards, I will see. It's a nice idea, and I think we would even have a room for that. So that's a cool idea, Deirdre. I will think about it, and let's see. Okay. Who's the dude in the corner with the tripod? Introduce him. Okay, so now I have to figure out what dude you're talking about. The dude with the tripod. Somewhere here in the room, right? Let me just activate my little portable microphone. Check. All right. Oh, the dude in the corner. Do you mean the skeleton? Dude with a tripod. Well, that's now we have the problem that you can't chat in real time with me to guide me. Dude with a tripod. Well, we have. Oh, now I'm going to be in. Oh, look at this mess. You know what? Oh, wait. It's not as bad as it looks. Oh, yes, it is. Sorry, I'm completely entangled in my microphone cables. I will just try to get turn off the light and get back to my place. Sorry, no more walking through the studio for today, or I will just ruin everything here and tear everything into small parts. Let's get back to the other microphone then. Oh, where's this switch? So if you're referring to the skeleton there in the background, he has a tripod at his feet. You can't see it right now because it's a little bit dark. But this is Mr. Bones. It's a plastic skeleton that's basically there to remind me of the fact that I have to finish the Wormworld Saga before I die, I guess. Maybe sometimes he's tipping up on my shoulder while I work. He's coming over and telling me, Daniel, you know, I also had a story that I wanted to tell, but I wasn't able to finish. And now I'm dead. Make sure that this doesn't happen to you. Something like this. And maybe you mean some... did you notice Spider-Man? Do you see Spider-Man up there? What's Spider-Man doing there, and what's the funny clothing he has? Let me get him down here. If the... Spider-Man is wearing a Zari. I'm using him as a reference for Raya. Well, until now, she did not have a lot of complicated poses. But just in case that I need to know what it looks like when Raya kneels down or something like that, I can use Spider-Man here as a reference for this. Never mind, Spidey. All right. All right. Okay. Now we have another question from Ben. Considering the previous question on the inspiration behind Wormworld, have you considered the idea of a short documentary on Wormworld, its development and origins, etc., for a possibility for campaign 3? A documentation, really? I'm documenting a lot of stuff in the special content that you can find in the attic, and actually, I would love to see much more people in the attic. And not because I want to have their subscription fee, but actually because there's so much interesting content there, I think. And there's not so many people able to see it. You know what really surprised me about last year's campaign is that we had 1,000 backers, and each and every one of them received a free year, a coupon for a free attic membership for 1 year. And I was really curious to see how many of these coupons would be used. So how many people would sign up for the attic for free. And I was really a little bit disappointed to see that only about 100 people chose to subscribe to the attic. And this really made me thinking if the attic in its current form is actually working, because if it's what I think is that people just don't want to make another account on some small website. They are used to log in with their Facebook account or Twitter account. They just want to set up a new account, and this seems to be a big hurdle for everyone. But right at the moment, I'm not able to provide a more easy way to access the special content than the subscription way. And I would really love to see much more people see the content, because it's really interesting. For each and every chapter, I try to write a comprehensive making of about all the stuff that I discovered and developed during a chapter production, and there's galleries about background stuff, articles about several things. There's an article about the Course of Things mandala, for example, which you all will get as a poster actually from this campaign. But stuff like this, where there's a lot of background information about the Wormworld Saga, and I'm actually on the brink of thinking that it might be that I want to make this information free for everyone, so that it's getting seen. But well, I'm thinking about this for some time, and but right at the moment it's not working the way I would imagine it to work, because there's a lot of interesting content and too few people are experiencing this content. And it was different with the app, when the content was hosted in the Wormworld Saga app, which is inactive right at the moment. But the situation with the attic right at the moment is not really satisfying me. So we will see how I arrange that in the future. This whole project is one big experiment for me, and if something just doesn't work the way I would like it to work, or not the way I expected it to work, I'm always open to changes and adjustments. So, but a documentary, I don't think if this is feasible, really, Ben. Perhaps when I finished the first journey and have proved that I can go the distance, then maybe someone will be interested to shoot a documentary about my work. Okay, we have another congrat here. I will just select them to clear up the list a little bit. Yes, this. Yes, it's much more suspense than watching soccer. I'm also not a big soccer fan, I have to say. And yeah, yes, Ben, I know that you meant a documentary film. I got that. And well, the content in the attic is what currently comes closest to the idea of a documentary behind the Wormworld Saga. Actually, there is we had in the first years of the Wormworld Saga. There have been several occasions when film teams were here, mainly from local media, but I think even Tokyo Pop sent over a film team which filmed a lot of material, and maybe I don't know if we are able to create something out of that. It's old footage. Wow. But I get the picture. A documentary movie about me, man. I don't know. Not yet. Or okay. Okay, so this is what's the two figures on the table in the background? Looks like some hand-painted resin stuff. Yes, okay. I think this is seems to be one of the older comments that before I actually showed you the stuff standing there. So I will just close this down. Yes, Deirdre. Thank you. Oh, and here's a final minute. All right. Okay, you see I'm now going through a lot of old comments here. And let's have a quick look on the clock. It's 10 p.m. No, it's nearly 11 p.m. So I think I will just see if there's some more interesting questions here, and I'd like to answer them. And but I'm actually getting a little bit exhausted right now because I skipped dinner, actually, because I just couldn't manage to eat something. But I don't want to be a whiner here, so everything is okay. Let's see some more questions. Let us see some pages. Oh, I don't know what you're referring to, Deirdre. Pages of what? Let us see some pages. Maybe you can write me what pages you're meaning. I'm totally not getting what you're talking about right at the moment. Okay, here's a comment about a convention. Then I think I can get your table at the Denver, Colorado Comic Convention, but it's May. Oh, May. No, actually on May 23rd. I'm actually on a trip to Nuremberg. There's a crowdfunding event there from some guys who created a documentary movie about crowdfunding. And I'm a part of that movie, a small part, but I'm invited to the premiere of the movie, and it is May 23rd. So thanks for the offer, but that's not going to happen. And we have a good evening from Munich here. Okay, I will now just go through the list here and see if there's anything else than useful hints to use the Q&A and general cheering. And if you find something, oh, the notebooks you showed, Earl. All right. We can do that, Deirdre. The notebooks. Let's see. Let's get them over here to a place where we can. I might have to get a little bit more light over here. Let's see if I can adjust the camera a little bit. I will just try to turn on the lights, and first I need to get rid of the microphone that is attached to me because it completely entangles me. And now this little, okay, oh, there it is. Oh, this is all live, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the notebooks. Wow, these cables are crazy. All right. Now let's see. So this is, we have to be able to, give me a second to adjust the camera here. All right. Okay, so this is my collection of notebooks. As I said, this year is my latest one. It's still empty, but it has a sketch on the first page already. And as I said, the first thing I'm going to write into this is my experience from this Kickstarter campaign. But this is not very interesting right at the moment. So my first Wormworld Saga notebook was this one, this tiny one here, and the sticker was added many years later. My first notebook started in 2005, and it was started at a point where I felt that the story that was shaping up in my mind had to be collected at some point, and my first ideas go back to the year 2003. And this, I think not in this notebook, but on my hard drive I have some digital sketches from 2003, which already show the Fire Lord and the Great Worm. And basically in these notebooks here, I try to collect all sorts of ideas about characters, about events, about just anything that could be interesting for the development of the story. And we have the first Wormworld Saga map here right in the middle. This is a print of the digital illustration. And yeah, it's just an ordinary notebook with all the stuff. And when this one was full, and I don't know if I have dated it. Oh yes, in 2008. So 3 years later, the notebook was full, and I started a new one. This one here, it is a little bit different. It opens like this, and well, this starts in 2008, where the first notebook ends, and it's again full of ideas. Here's the first Scrat skull that I sketched in 2008, and my first notes about the Scrats and their meaning for the story. And well, let's just go through it. Here I have an entry from April 2010. That was the time when I was working on the first chapter, and I think that a little bit later we will see actual panel artwork from the first chapter. Here the scene where Jonas leaves the school, and some other stuff. You see that already in 2010 I had some ideas about the Great Forest and how Jonas would go through it. And here are some individual panels. And I remember that on my way from work on the train, I would sketch these little drawings in order to work out the panels that I was working on right at that moment. And here's a sketch of the Fire Lord, which is, so to say, the boss of the Dark Minions, you know. Oh yeah. This is so cool. And actually, when I find some time, I actually go through these notebooks because it's so much fun to read. It's like a diary, actually. And this year's the entry from May 2010, when I learned that my wife was pregnant. And well, it goes on, and I think this. Oh, here's some top secret stuff that you can't see. And I think it's pretty much at the point when, let me see where this ends. It pretty much ends when the first chapter was ready to launch. And in my last entry, I was pondering what would happen if I launch the first chapter. How many people will read it? What will it mean for me? And I at that point I didn't anticipate anything, because I was just some guy frustrated on his day job who dreamed of being possible to do something with his own story, and I had no idea what would happen a few weeks later. And this is where I think, no, this book here starts, the white one. It is the book that starts in 2011. And in this book is this is really fun to read, because here is documented all the hilarious stuff that happened in the first month of the Wormworld Saga. The viral effect of chapter 1 with a peak of 90,000 people on one day visiting the comic, with TV teams at my home, with interviews at the radio station, with the film producers visiting me from Berlin. All this weird stuff that happened in this hype. And the amazing thing is that in the middle of this hype, on January 11th, my first son was born. And this was just too much for me. It was just the most insane time of my life until now. So this is really interesting to read this. And and I start planning the second chapter here. Here's an idea for the beginning or the title screen of chapter 2. But the thing is that at some point I stopped to plan the Wormworld Saga in these books. And here are some little thumbnail sketches for scenes of chapter 2. I stopped to plan the actual graphic novel in this book, and I started to just use it as a production diary. So at a certain point, I'm writing here in the book that now I will stop developing the story in the notebook because it became too complicated, and I adjusted my process here. I'm now using a software called Scrivener to write, to do the writing part of the story, and my notebooks became pure diaries of what I've experienced during the production, the challenges that I had, the ups and downs. And it's really nice to read that stuff, because I had some down points in the project, and this is stuff that I'm not even communicating too much. But I guess at some point I will just start to do that, because my story wouldn't be complete if we wouldn't talk about the down points too. So and this is the sketchbook, the diary that I started in 2013, and it stops right in the middle of the Kickstarter campaign, and a lot of stuff happened there. And during that time, I had to take a few months off from the Wormworld Saga to work, because I didn't have enough money. But also, I was able to we were able to sign the deal for the French book edition. I had my first travel to Paris, my first signing session in Paris in this. There's a lot of stuff that happened between 2013 and 2015, and now this point where we are now today marks another waypoint in the Wormworld Saga project. And this new notebook here will be my diary for the upcoming 2 or 3 years of this project, which, well, has by now developed into a live project, I would say. And let me just turn off the lights and put those books back into their place. And okay, I would say let's watch out for some of your comments. Okay, here's another question. Would you consider a special add-on making off book with sketches and preliminary design for the Kickstarter campaign for the 3rd book? Well, you know that making off articles are a part of the Wormworld Saga book. So at the end of each Wormworld Saga book, you will find making off material and sketches and stuff like that. But after 5 years now, I have a lot of making off material, and I actually started to think about creating a dedicated book about the project. And I might just have to see when would be a good point to do something like that. Not in the near future, not this year, not next year, but at some point, I think a pure Wormworld Saga art book would be a cool thing, because I could go much more into detail in such an art book than it is possible in the appendixes of the actual graphic novels. Okay, Deirdre, you really want to have those notebooks, won't you? Maybe we will have a translation of them and as some sort of biography or something like that. When I'm really old, when my beard is gray and stuff like that. So then we might just produce those notebooks in translated versions. Okay, and just to give this additional detail about my glove, the gloves, I bought them from the grocery store in huge quantity, but the black color I did myself. I dyed them. I don't know if this is the right word in English. I used color to color them. You also find that color in every grocery store. All right. Oh, this saga reminded me a bit of the second part of the Never-Ending Story. Did it have any influence? Oh yes, the Never-Ending Story, I think, has a pretty big influence on me. And you will notice actually that the school Jonas goes to, his grammar school, is named the Michael Ende Elementary School. Well, it's the elementary school, not the grammar school. So yes, I'm very aware of Michael Ende and the Never-Ending Story, and I think that the Never-Ending Story is one thing that inspired me to do this portal fantasy theme in the first place. It's one of my favorite portal fantasy stories, and it's interesting that you mentioning the second part of the Never-Ending Story, because the first part of the Never-Ending Story is a pretty traditional fantasy story with action and adventure and monsters that you have to fight, and but the second part is very psychological, where the Bastian in the story enters the world of Fantasia, and where he is challenged, where his his moral is challenged because he has these superpowers. He can make every wish come true. And these are elements that you find in the Wormworld Saga too. You know, Jonas is a superhero. He's immortal, but he doesn't realize it yet. But he will realize it. Well, okay, so yeah, definitely Michael Ende's Never-Ending Story. And actually, I'm reading a lot of Michael Ende's stories to my 4-year-old son right at the moment. So Lukas, der Lokomotivführer, and well, we're not reading Momo yet, but what was the other thing from me? Don't quite remember. Well, he's a great author, Michael Ende, because he's mixing traditional fantasy stuff with deep psychological topics, and this is something I really enjoy. All right. Oh. So let's just see. This is a question concerning the number of books. How many English bundles will the first journey take? So if you're referring to the number of books here, if you're talking about the books here, so far the plan is to collect 2 chapters. Sorry, to collect 2 chapters in each book. So if we roughly calculate with the estimation of 16 to 18 chapters for the first journey, this would mean 8 to 9, yes, 8 to 9 books. So with book 3 at the end of the year, we will approximately have 1/3 of the first journey covered. All right. That was an easy answer. Hi, Ivan. And this is Ivan. I'd like to introduce him, Ivan Berov from Bulgaria. He's a good friend, I have to say, although I have never met him in person. But he's responsible for most of the translations that you can read of the Wormworld Saga on wormworldsaga.com. So most of the translations you can see there were actually layouted by Ivan. And this is a tremendous help. And he's doing this all voluntarily. This is absolutely amazing. So we had a little hiatus, so to say, with the translations. We had a little pause with new translations, but I think that that soon we will start to try to pick up the thread with the translations, because we have some translators there that are really eager to do more translations of the Wormworld Saga, and I think it might be a good point in the next few months to pick up the thread and create some more translations. And I don't want to speak on your behalf, Ivan, but I think you signaled me that you would be ready for some more translation layout, and I'm actually looking forward to your Bulgarian translation of the last 2 chapters. So let me know when those are finished, and we will publish them as soon as possible. All right, so let's see. I'm just glancing over a few more comments. It's a huge list. I'm hoping that I'm not missing something very very important here. If you find something that you die to become answered, please vote the question so that it pops up at the top of the list, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of comments, and I will take my time after the recording to go through these comments, because there's a lot of congratulations there, and I really don't want to miss that. And when I'm glancing over this, oh, I see so many locations. I see Mexico here. I see Seattle. I see Denmark. I already mentioned Rome, Brazil, Minnesota, USA. Ah, this is so great. Ah. So I would say I will just have a quick look at the very top of the list if there's something. No, it's a greeting. Hello from Michigan. Hello back from Warendorf. Yes. And I would say we come to an end here. And let's just, there's still some movement in the comment section. All right. So, but I think we're done for this. We are live for over 2 hours now. And let me say, I'm always amazed that there's actually people on the world, and I'm counting 22 people right at the moment, that seem to have watched all these 2 hours. The weird guy from Germany is talking, and 22 people around the world are watching it. This is really absolutely amazing, and I thank you for your time and for your dedication and your enthusiasm. This means the world to me. Well, how to close something like this? I could talk to you all the night, but it feels also a little bit awkward to be talking here and knowing that you only can post me a few comments. I will absolutely make sure to find out how to incorporate people with their image, with their voices into a hangout, because this should multiply the fun of these events, I guess. And okay, a final look here because there's still some movement. No, all right, okay. All right, so I thank you. I thank you so much for your support. I think I will need some time to comprehend the outcome of this campaign, which is amazing. Over $46,000. This is amazing, and I think it will help to write into my new notebook, to sum up the whole experience and to just get ready for a new chapter of well, my personal journey as a graphic novel creator, and hopefully soon getting ready for the next chapter of the Wormworld Saga. I know that I have the best people backing me, helping me out, and whatever will come in the future, whatever route I have to take to continue this project, whatever experiment that has to be done in order to find new ways, I know that I have a cool bunch of people that will help me with that, and this is actually the most important thing for me in this whole in this whole experience. So thank you so much for supporting me yet another time on Kickstarter. Thanks for your interest in my story. I'm really hoping that you enjoy it. I'm eager to create the next chapters. I just have to figure out how to make it happen. Your support here on Kickstarter will definitely help. But as I said, there's still some other stuff that's interfering with the production of new chapters. So I just have to take a little bit of time to figure that out. And but I know that you're eagerly waiting to see how the story of Jonas continues. And the fact that you're still watching me after over 2 hours now tells me that you're also eager to find out how my personal story continues. And this is a great thing to think about. So I wish everyone a good night if you happen to be in a comparable time zone to my time zone. A good day if your sun is still shining, or maybe just rising above the horizon. there's no elegant way to end this. And I think I will just push the stop broadcast button any second now. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to the next campaign actually. So I would love to see a lot of you again there, and until then, I hope that we will get in touch in other ways. And actually, there will be more updates in the future. In the campaign, you will get all these. I will update you on the fulfillment. I will update you on everything, on the production of the freebies. As soon as I have a prototype from the figure manufacturer, you will be updated. I will keep you completely updated about all progress concerning this Kickstarter campaign. When the keychains come in, I will show them to you and everything. So stay tuned. If you get an update image, an update email from Kickstarter, have a look inside. Don't think it's spam. I will try to only send you meaningful updates. So yeah, thank you, and have a good day, have a good night, and see you next time. I'm looking forward to it. Bye-bye.